So, hello everyone. I'm Kate again, talking about Phonar Nation this week. But before I start talking about what I'm about to talk about, please do tweet your thoughts, and if you have any questions that you may have that you would like to have answered, the best way of probably doing that is via Twitter. So you can tweet me at KateGreen28 and also include the hashtag Phonar. And I won't be doing this live because I really can't talk and tweet at the same time, but I will get back to everybody as soon as I can.
So you can see that down there, right? KateGreen28.
Okay, so you should be able to see that. I can hear myself, so I'm going to try and mute it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Phonar Nation and why we chose to build an online toolkit for mentors and participants. So Phonar Nation is divided into 5 tasks, and in each of these there are 3 going deeper tasks. The going deeper focuses it's focused for artists, storytellers and publishers, but all of the resources are written to be understood by an 8-year-old and being able to be reflected on by a 16-year-old and to possibly think further afield. But the resources are meant to be really easy, short, so that they are really easily understood. So then because what we really want to do is to have the learners actively engage with the tasks and not feel like they're worrying too much about the content. But we teach Phonar Nation as a means of teaching with and of the digital, bowing the network to the learner's needs as storytellers. So I'm going to just explain a bit more about what I mean by that. So Phonar Nation is all about visual storytelling. Before there were smartphones and the internet, it was a photographer's job to do this, and a photographer would get paid to do this. A photographer's work would then be published, generally by a newspaper or a magazine, and only if that picture was really on the front page would there be a call to action. So, for example, whereby if it was on the front page of the newspaper that day, it was likely that a lot of people would be talking about that for that particular day until the next publication came out the following morning. But since the affordances of the digital, and what I really mean by that is the internet, that we can all be photographers. We can take thousands of pictures and that camera is right in our pockets on our smartphones. Then we upload our pictures online to different spaces, whether that's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Flickr, or a blog. But this makes us the publishers, the newspaper almost. But what there isn't so much anymore is the front page. And Fred Richin at ICP talks about this a lot. But there isn't really one place everyone looks for the same story, because all of our news feeds are different. We follow different people, and all of the algorithms are kind of tailored for what we want to see based on other information that we search online. So we have millions of images that are being uploaded every day, and we are all contributing to that. But how can we get our images to be seen, and how can we make them matter? So we understand how to use technology, but what we are not so good at is understanding what that can come to mean. So as we are 1 in millions uploading images into the cloud, we are just another 1 or 0 in a massive binary pool of big data, or in other words, products of the digital. But how can we make these technologies work for us? How can we get seen on what was before known as the front page? So then we've got to think, what does this mean for young learners? How can we ask them to tell their own stories? Do we really want them to fall into this black hole of big data, or do we want them to be heard? What Phonar Nation does, or at least aims to do, is to give the learners the means to tell their stories, publish them and have them seen by a community, and potentially giving them the agency to make a difference and share what they're passionate about, so that we can have a call to action by the community. So as you can see on the Phonar Nation website, phonarnation.org, the pictures that are shared on Twitter, Instagram and Flickr are all aggregated into one place. This means that we do kind of have a front page on the Phonar Nation website, but we have to also consciously think that we need to keep pointing people back to this page. This is also a great thing about the hashtag Phonar classes and lectures. When we ask learners to tweet their notes with a hashtag, that means we can reach a lot of people, and we can point them to what we are talking about, and they can get involved as well. However, we are using social networks, and funnily enough, that means talking to one another just like we would face to face. And it's exactly this that we want to see: people talking, getting heard, and creating meaningful relationships online, because this is what the digital can allow us to do. So really, kind of what I want you to think about is, and my suggestion is to think about what it means when we teach online, and how can we empower our learners to not just be a 1 or a 0 in a massive data collective that is the web, but how can we allow them and empower them to become a digital citizen, understanding how to use the technologies to work for them. So that's kind of my thoughts on Phonar Nation and how we try and work with it, so that we're not just giving people a class, but we're also allowing them to use the technologies, in a responsible and appropriate way, so that we're not just kind of we're not just asking people to pile data into nothing for no reason. What we want them to do, is that we want people to actually make a difference and feel like they're making a difference. So I guess that's kind of me rounded up. I'm going to turn my volume back up. So if there are any immediate things that Liz wants to point out or wants me to talk about, then go ahead.
I know we discussed requiring the students to interact with some of the international participants in some way. I'm not sure how I track that, or if I'm going to make that a requirement for you, because I'm not really clear on how to get them to do it. But if they would like to interact directly and communicate about other people's pictures, could you give them an idea of how they would do that?
Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on at the minute, but I'm hearing a lot of echoes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I could clarify later. I was trying to communicate to them how they could start interacting with the Phonar community right now.
Okay, so the best way I would suggest to communicate with other people that are in the community is that they're probably going to be on Twitter, or at least there will be some people on Instagram who have posted reasonably recently. So we've had, there's a university in the northwest of England. It's called Salford, the city. It's just right next to Manchester, and they have been doing Phonar Nation tasks just like you have, and I believe that some of them have uploaded online. So a great thing for you to do is if you just kind of go onto the search the hashtag Phonar on Instagram. I think that's where they've been sharing them. And if you just kind of reach out and say, hey, I'm doing Phonar Nation too, we are in California and we're looking at your stuff, that'd be great. And then if you can then just say like, hey, I'm about to post some pictures, check it out, then you can start having a really super cool bond. But the other, I guess, for the extended community that aren't necessarily doing Phonar Nation right now, just reach out to people on using the Phonar hashtag. So if you search now on Twitter, you'll probably see quite a lot of what happened last week, because that was such a massive kind of takeover of the hashtag, which was super cool. But there's people on there that you will not have met before. So there was somebody called Ollie Wood. He is here in the United Kingdom. There's someone called Charo. She is based in Spain. There were some others. There's Maria. She's based in the UK, but I think she's actually Bulgarian. So there's an awful lot of people on there. So just have a quick look and try and find someone you don't know. But we'll be always rounding up people who are part of the community. And what I'll do is get them to try and reach out to you as well. So it's a two-way street. So I would suggest that, reach out to other people and allow yourselves to be made available to them as well. And always try and reply if it's appropriate. Don't know if that helps.
Okay, yes, that does. Okay, so any questions that you'd like to ask out loud? Any brave person? No hands up right now.
That's okay. If you're shy, just reach out to me on Twitter. That's absolutely fine.
All right,
I'll get
so
back to
I
you.
will encourage them to do that if they need to, and I think we're going to get started, I guess, on our project.
Good luck.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kate.
That's no problem. Well, good luck, guys. If you need any help, then just reach out to the community and someone will probably, or hopefully, get back to you and give you some support. But I'm looking forward to seeing all your pictures. So have fun.
Okay, thank you.
All right. See you later.
Say bye.
Bye. Oh, bye.